Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Low, man. Low, man.
You like contracts, right? You're a contract guy.
I read contracts instead of conventional pornography, yes.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew Esquire in this legal mindset. We teach you to be your own judge, coming at you from Bangkok, Thailand. It's 9:30 p.m. here. It's a little bit later in the Philippines, but I wanted to shoot this one off quickly because we had a breaking update. This is just out today. A couple hours ago, there was an update, some news that was official about Vitali, and I want to bring that to everybody because everyone is really dying for a Vitali update. So today's going to be a quick one. It's going to focus on the facts. I am primarily focusing on the factual, official information that's coming out about Vitali in the Philippines. There is a ton of misinformation, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of that. We're going to dismiss some of the minor stuff as well. But it's good to be here with you guys today. And of course, I am early. So I think chat needs to apologize right now. And maybe we need to jail chat for thinking that I might be late. Good to see everybody over here. I see people checking in. I see people in America over there in the Philippines. 10:30. Yeah, there you go. Nice, very nice. Arizona, 7:30 a.m. Woof. Shout out to people in Europe, Australia, wherever you are in the world. I am glad to have you here. Welcome to the Legal Mindset. Also, another little announcement as we kind of gear this show up. I'm going to be doing some interviews, and I should be going on some podcasts soon about my nuisance streamer coverage. So if you want updates for that, look out on my X account or on my legalmindset.locals.com. I will post any notices of any other shows that I go on and when those might air. So what's up to you guys? All right, King Lugia for 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much for that. Yes. A little bit of lag today. I think it's because it's raining here in Bangkok, so it's rainy season. So the internet might be a little bit laggy, but thank you for that. Appreciate that very, very much. Bama says, let's get all these nuisance streamers locked up and away from the general public. Hope you're having a good day and even better night. Thank you very much. It's been a great day. Very busy for me. I've got a lot of stuff I need to do, and I've got probably a full day of work tomorrow as well. I'm going to try to do another stream tomorrow night, but we'll see what happens. Try to get one in to kind of close out the month, round out the month, and maybe a member stream. We'll see whether it's a member stream or not. If not, I'll do the member stream on Sunday. But yeah, it's good to see everybody here, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. Kobe Ali, member for 1 month. Welcome. Digital Lee says, how dare you start 2 minutes early? I'm launching a class action lawsuit. Everyone that likes this stream will be named as plaintiff and harmed by your careless action. I know. How dare I start early. Sir Guard Pebble of the Nettle Soup says, you are not late, nor are you early. You stream precisely when you mean to. A lawyer always streams precisely when they mean to. It's good to be, of course, talking about this topic. Now, I am planning to go over there to the Philippines and interview some folks, talk to some folks the next month or two. It's been something that's been on my docket to do, but it's been quite busy for me here in the Kingdom of Thailand. And as you know, we've got several nuisance streamer problems here as well, which I'm going to follow up on. And I've got some interesting feedback from yesterday's coverage of those folks. And it's possible we're going to have more information coming on various nuisance streamers, not just Somali, but others as well. Now let's talk about Vitali specifically. So Vitali has been locked up. He is behind bars. He is in a Filipino prison right now, awaiting his criminal proceedings. Now, there's been a lot of false information. There was some false information that he was going to be sent home or something else because of political changes. That is indeed not true at all. There sometimes is turnover in administrative positions within the government in the Philippines, and people had speculated that perhaps as part of that, when certain people left, he might be let free. That is indeed not happening. That is indeed not going to happen. There's also some speculation that there might be some grand trade like there was with Brittany Griner and Russia and other stuff like that. That's not going to happen. That's pure speculation. That's pure hope and cope. So that sort of minor stuff I want to dismiss offhand, but just understand I have seen that stuff, kind of floating around the nethers of the internet, and kind of floating around those that might be Vitali fanboys or otherwise try to justify those actions. Now, before we get into the update today, let me get this chat. Neko Girl 862 says, "Thank you for something to watch while I eat breakfast. Love your coverage of all the annoying streamers." I wish there were less. I wish there was less to cover. I sometimes want a night off. If only they could stop doing annoying things, and if only they could stop trying to bend the legal process. And what we have today is Vitali thinking he can get away with it. We're going to see that Vitali essentially thinks he can buy out the Philippines, that he can just pay them out, that he can just get out of this and, say, "Oh, I'm sorry, here's some cash, leave me alone." And one of the most annoying things about this has been his consistent strategy, even with the individuals he's pranking. He feels like he can annoy them, do really, really, really annoying things to them, cause them all sorts of grief, problems, and then just give them a little bit of money, give them $1 or $2, and then walk away. And it's all good. It's all good, bro. It's not working like that when it comes especially to violations of the law. You can't just break the law and say, "Oops, it was just a prank, bro." That's not a defense. And if this was the United States, that would not be a defense either. You can neither say, and we're going to see here today, "Oh, I have XYZ. I'm having a bad time." Right? "Oh, my mental health is suffering," which we're going to see when he quotes this. This is a line that a lot of these new age streamers, these Gen Z streamers and some millennial streamers, but a lot of Gen Z streamers, younger streamers, they're tending to use this mental health excuse to try to get out of their actions. And this is absolutely something that the boot needs to put down on firmly, saying you claiming some nebulous mental health issues is not sufficient to excuse you of criminal activity. If so, we would have a massive spike in criminality because everyone would just claim, "Oh, I've got mental issues, bro." It's not something that anyone in any jurisdiction, anywhere in the world, should accept as just carte blanche to get out of jail for free. Now, that said, if there's a diagnosed, certifiable condition that would meet whatever criteria for institutionalization, that's fine. But mind you, institutionalization, going to a mental health institute or a mental health facility, is not a fun thing either. And that's also not necessarily a get out of jail free card. In many cases, in many jurisdictions, such as places in the United States, if you were to be placed in a mental institution, if you are able to recover from that or be brought back and restored in terms of your mental condition, you can actually face trial yet again. You can actually come and be placed before the court yet again. So I don't think we should just accept these things in other countries as a get out of jail free card. But we're going to talk about that today. Ryobi said Vitali is trying to be Sarah Boone. Oh boy. Yeah, you're going to see it here, guys. GJ Case for 10 says, sorry, DJ Case for 10. Thank you so much for that. Let me just drop a...
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Thank you for that. Art Vandal A says, becoming a member, welcome. Tad Explorer for 400 type bots is Bangkok here soon. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I know you reached out to me. A lot of other people reached out to me to hang out in Bangkok. I will be hanging out with some folks here. Just hit me up on email. We'll follow up on that, or Instagram, or whatever else. I love meeting up with people. And by and large, the one thing that's really awesome is that the expat community in Asia, in Korea, in Thailand, in Japan, everywhere else, tends to be really awesome. The people here tend to be great people. The people that stay long term, they are law abiding, they follow the rules, and they're completely opposed to people like Vitali. In fact, some of the people that most closely follow this coverage are expats in Asia that are impacted by this or care about this, because they indeed care about the locals. They indeed care about their communities because they are living in those communities. So it's really awesome to meet folks with that mindset. Lewis Cali says, yo, I got on my midday and was able to catch a live stream. Obrigado, Johnny. Well, no Johnny today. Although we are going to talk about how this relates to Johnny. Pirate Skeleton for $4.99 says, if your actions are bad enough to unify a country against you, a change in administration isn't going to save you. Exactly. He offended the Filipino people. It's not just one administration. In fact, a change of administration might actually make it worse. There's administrations I can imagine that might have dealt with this even more harshly than he was dealt with here. So that's something to consider. Daniel Looney for 10 says, mental health is not an excuse to be an ass to people. I say that as 100% PTSD disabled vet. Exactly. And look, there's a certain level of grace. And let's say someone has a sudden outburst, right? And there's clear signs that it was triggered by something XYZ. And that's sympathetic. This is not what Vitali had here. It wasn't like he was alone in a restaurant and someone came up and, popped a firework next to his ear, and he reacted in a certain way, and we're excusing that behavior because of some sort of trauma, right? He went out and intentionally targeted people for money and clout. He intentionally messed with businesses, individuals for money and clout. He intentionally engaged in business defamation for money and clout. It's very straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. Hackfish says, hey, Legal Mindset, just saying hi to Vitali fans who said the Philippines will release him in a month. Well, yeah, that's not happening. Well, Bozos, Philippines helped General MacArthur defeat Imperial Japan. What makes you think they'll release Vitali? Yeah, I think the Philippines is going to go through the full process, and I think the Philippines is giving him a fair treatment. In fact, we're going to see today they're being very fair to him. Which is good. And I think if you look at the Somali case, the Vitali case, Korea is being very fair and giving a lot of due process to Johnny Somali. Vitali, he's getting a lot of grace here. And we're going to see they actually let him off the hook for something. We're going to get into that today. Daniel Looney for 10 says mental health is... Oh, no, got it ready. Alexis Artemis says for 250 MKT. I don't know what that is. I usually know currencies. I don't have that one. Vitali suddenly had emotional damage. Good, he needs to learn. Any cabbage in Thailand? Oh, there's great cabbage in Thailand. Ryobi says, and here I thought Vitali's escape plan was to was attempting a rocket jump like in Quake or Team Fortress. I'm not. You got to work on your phrasing, Ryobi. You got to work on your phrasing, bro. Fitty Tucker for 10 says Vitali's actually very lucky. Duterte is not the sitting president. That's kind of what I was hinting at there. Another administration might have done it differently and might have done it more harshly. Just saying. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's jump right into this. Oh, MKD's. Oh, Macedonian dinar. Thank you so much. Okay, that's a new one. I'm going to memorize that for my currency book. I'm very good with currencies, usually. All right. So here is this is from GMA. So this is a, official mainstream media outlet in the Philippines. And this is an update today on the Vitali case. So what we're going to do is, and this is the main thing I want to show you guys today. Once again, it's 2 minutes. It's very quick. I'm going to play this through without any interruptions. Now, I put on the AI translation or the automatic translation into English. However, thank you to Angel Chase and the others that submitted translations of this. I had several translations of this that have been submitted to me. Thank you, everybody who did that. 3 different translations. I appreciate all of you. My Filipina and Filipino brothers, you guys are amazing. Thank you. So I'm going to have their more professional and kind of clean translations. I'm going to read one of those after. So we'll go through this with the AI translations. Understand it is not perfect. And it's not 100% keen. But we'll go through both this and a better translation. So this is, once again, today, an update on Vitali.
Ng Justice Department ang kaso laban sa Russian vlogger na si Vitaly Zuduruwetsky. Yan po ay sa kabila ng apela niyang ibasura na ang kaso dahil nagkakaroon na raw siya ng mental health issues sa gitna ng pagkakapiit. Nakatutok si June Veneracion.
Ginawa niyang katatawanan ang mga secure sa BGC. Pati mga nakakasalubong sa kalsada, hindi nakaligtas sa kanyang panunuya. Magdadalawang buwan na ngayong nakakulong ang Russian vlogger na si Vitaly sa detention facility ng Bureau of Immigration dahil sa pagiging undesirable alien. Sabi ni Interior and Local Government Secretary John Vic Rimulya, sumulat sa kanyang Russian vlogger.
Sumulat sa akin na he's suffering from mental health issues daw.
Ano yung pakiusap niya?
Na kung pwede i-drop na yung mga kaso, na humingi siya ng patawad.
No, I have a question for you.
By the way, I will stop there. This is, of course, in case you guys didn't recognize, this is John Vic Rimula, who is Secretary John Vic Rimula, who's been awesome about this. He has really been amazing in pointing out exactly why Vitali needs to be punished, why Vitali deserves justice, deserves the same process as anybody else who violates the law in the Philippines. And you know, he's once again the one that Vitali has to appeal to try to get out of jail. And we'll see the response here.
No, I have a question for you.
Pero ayon kay Rimulya, hindi pwedeng palampasin ang mga ginawa ni Vitali. Sa susunod na linggo, sasampahan na raw siya ng kasong unjust vexation. Kaugnay ng reklamo, isinampa ng 3 gwardyang inalay niyang contempt sa altar ng social media. Batay sa resolusyon ng prosecutor's office ng Taguig, merong sapat na ebidensya para magkaroon ng reasonable certainty of conviction para sa krimeng unjust vexation.
So that means, so to stop right there, they've got him, boys. Let me play the clip. In terms of unjust vexation,
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
prosecutors are saying there is sufficient evidence. They don't need anything else. They've got everything they need to convict him of that. I believe there's multiple counts of that because there were 3 separate security guards that are involved in that that have kind of come forward on that. So there's more than enough evidence to do that, which is good, which means they've got something they can for sure go ahead on. Now, there are other charges which they've decided they may not bring.
Ibinasura naman ng piskalya ang reklamong theft bago lumabas ang resolusyon ng prosecutor's office.
So to be clear, and I'm going to reread this in the translation and explain it, they did drop the theft complaint. So the theft complaint, he was charged with unjust vexation and theft. They did drop theft.
Office. Nagtangka raw ang mga abogado ni Vitali na regluhin ang mga complainant na gwardya, sabi ni Rimulya.
Mabuti na lang yung mga security guard ay matibay ang loob, hindi bumigay, at itutuloy natin yung kaso.
Sinusubukan pa naming makuha ang panig ng mga abogado ni Vitali. Para sa GMA Integrated News.
So that's the clip there. So let me read the translation for you guys. I know some of you probably got it there in the, obviously my Filipino brothers, you guys probably got that translation. But let me read this out to you, a kind of more formal translation. So this is same article, just more clean translation. The Justice Department is going forward with the cases against Russian vlogger Vitaly Zhorotovetsky, despite Vitaly's appeal to dismiss the case because he is having mental health issues inside prison. Okay. So he begged for them to let him go because he's having mental health issues. And they said, no, we're going forward with it. So note that. Anybody says he's going to get out because he claims, ooh, my feelings are hurt or whatever, not going to happen. Continuing. He made fools of the BGC security guards. Even the people he met on the streets were not safe from being mocked. For almost 2 months, Russian vlogger Vitali is inside the detention facility of the Bureau of Immigration because of being an undesirable alien. According to Interior Local Government Secretary John Vic Rimula, Vitali wrote him a letter. So Vitali personally wrote a letter to Rimula asking for forgiveness and asking to be let go. Rimula said, he wrote me a letter and states he is suffering from mental health issues. What is his plea? And that is to drop the cases. And he says he is sorry and asking for forgiveness. So Vitali wrote him a letter saying, I have mental health issues. I'm sorry. I want forgiveness. Real quick comparison here. You know who else claims that? Johnny Somali. You know what other people claim that? A lot of the nuisance streamers. If that is allowed to fly, every single person will go to other countries, will start creating issues, whatever. Oh, I got mental health issues. Oh, you got to let me go now. It is just something that is going to be abused, and we got to put the foot down on it. And really, it's a global thing. Just claiming carte blanche, meaning whatever you can do whatever you want as long as you say mental health issues, isn't the right way to go in the administration of justice. It can work in some other scenarios, but in the administration of justice and enforcement of laws, it is absolutely unenforceable. Let's continue. As per Ramula, he doesn't want to condone it or let pass the actions of Vitali. Next week, the unjust vexation charge cases from the 3 security guards will be officially filed against Vitali for the content that he posts on social media. According to the resolution of Tagig prosecutor's office, there is sufficient evidence to make a reasonable certainty of conviction, which means he's done on those charges of unjust vexation, those 3 charges of unjust vexation. And now I'm going to say they call it the fiscal, right? Which it's a Filipino word referring to the public prosecutor or district attorney. But that prosecutor, did dismiss the theft case before it was sent forward. So that means that they dropped the theft charge. Likely because there is insufficient evidence, or because they felt like they didn't want to bring it. They felt it was weaker. Maybe they felt it might look petty, etc. Right? There could be a million reasons why they decided not to do it. Likely insufficient evidence on the theft charge. So they dropped that one. So anybody who comes out here and says that the Philippines is unfair or unjust or not doing things right or not giving due process is absolutely lying to you, because you see here, they absolutely did consider everything carefully. And they said, look, we're not going to bring theft. We're going to go ahead on unjust vexation. So that was dropped. And then the Vitali's lawyers tried to settle with the 3 security guards, as per, and I got to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Hold on. Kozo said it right here. Remulia. There you go. I'm trying to. Thanks for covering this. Sorry. And once again, my pronunciation isn't perfect. I'm doing the best to try. Remulia. So Remulia, he, according to him, they tried to pay out the security guards. Think about that for a second. Think about how insulting that is to the integrity of the Philippines. Saying, hey, and that's exactly what he has been doing from the beginning, is trying to say, hey, I'm just going to buy these people out. I'm just going to give you a couple bucks afterwards. Here's $5. That's worth your dignity. That's worth your respect. That's worth denigrating your country. That's worth making a fool of your, nation, your business, the individual. And it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, to me, and I go back to the video. Let's go back to the original video, and I'm going to get back to finish the statement in a second. But getting back to the original video, I read that line and I thought about this. When he's with this woman, right? And you guys probably all remember this one, but remember what he did here. Watch.
I'm gonna rob you if you keep walking away.
And she stops because she's scared, right? I'm gonna, once again, I'm gonna effing rob you. She stops. And then as soon as he realizes he's in trouble because he's just done, he just committed a crime there, he goes,
I want to give you money.
I want to give you money. I want to give you money. It's a behavior that he's learned, and it's a behavior that needs to be broken. It's an unacceptable behavior to say, I can do something threatening, I can do something criminal, and then immediately, because I offer you money, it's okay now. It's all right because I offered you money, right? If that, once again, imagine that person is your grandmother, imagine that person is your mom, your aunt, your sister, whatever else. You're not going to feel the same way about it. You're not going to be okay with somebody just offering them money after threatening them. Let me finish the statement here. They continue to say in the statement, it's a good thing the 3 security guards are strong and did not give in. Other translations, strong, or like strong-hearted or strong-willed, and they did not give in to the bribery. They will continue with the cases. So the security guards were offered money. They turned it away, which absolutely based on the part of the Filipino security guards. And they're going to continue. They're going to press those charges. They're reaching out to Vitali's lawyers for comments, but so far there's no comment from Vitali's lawyers. So we have no comment from the Vitali side of this. Interesting updates there. The fact that he really tried mental health. And to me, I laugh at him because he always makes fun of Vitali. Tries to play this tough guy act, right? He tries to play this internet tough guy, this guy who's so tough, and oh, look at you, you're wearing a COVID mask, or which it's not even a COVID mask. The air quality is not good in Southeast Asia. You often want to wear a mask just for air quality, whatever else. There's a million reasons, or you could be sick, right? Genuinely sick. So he's trying to pick on this poor woman and saying, you're effing liberal, etc. But he goes over here and he's whining and crying about mental health. It's just the juxtaposition is very hilarious. In my light. But beyond that, to think that they're just going to drop it and let it go away, not even saying, okay, look, I'm wrong, please be lenient, but hey, drop everything and let this go away. That's not how this is going to work, right? You're not in a position to make a demand that they dismiss anything. You can say you're sorry, right? That's fine. If he's genuinely sorry, that's okay. But you're not in a position to demand that the country drop the case against you because you have mental health issues. Let's go through some of these chats. Chaos Smashes Vitali is the 1 year in Thailand meme. Robert says for 5, well, shoot, I scuffed. Was wondering how the other jailed idiot was doing. Yeah, and the thing about Vitali is, since he is behind bars, I don't have as much information coming as constantly as Somali, who is actively sticking his foot in his mouth, digging himself deeper, etc. Right? So Vitali, there is less to update, but when there's something real to update you on, just like tonight, I will do it as fast as possible. In fact, the stream is probably going to be pretty short, because that's the kind of meat of what we had to get to today. Mary Weddington says, I abhor these influencers all over the world, or they're going their ownish. I lost my daughters in 2020. Being harassed can do so much damage. I know. And the thing is, if you think about the trauma you could get from someone coming up and threatening you in public, it's not something that, if someone came to your grandmother and did that to them, they could have a heart attack. There's a lot of stuff that could happen for somebody who is threatened by some guy who's, 3 times their size and threatening to rob them. Vera said, any news on the cameraman? So there is some news on this. So from what I've heard, based on how the system is working, they're probably they're looking for him, it seems like. But I don't think I'm not positive whether they've actually brought him in yet, or whether they've actually taken him in yet. It seems like he's still out there. But it does seem like they are investigating him, looking for him. And a lot of it is also going to be based on the filings against Vitali. So now that they've officially filed these unjust vexation charges against Vitali, now according to accomplice liability, and once again, this is not my opinion, this is me listening to Filipino lawyers, they should have reason to look after the cameraman and perhaps go after him and make filings against him as well. Louis Cali says, when the country you're in is having you're having legal trouble in, and they don't have a translation for mental health issues, you're screwed, using that as a defense. Yeah, and understand, even in the United States, that's not a defense per se. You can't just say, oh, blanket mental health issues. If you have a lack of capacity issue or a true insanity plea, there's things you need to prove to get there, and they're highly contentious. Most people, even in the United States, don't qualify for those things. Stephanie Lerma for 99 says, love your vlog. Thank you so much. I will try to do more. I know you guys liked when I do one like the Vitali updates, like from traveling around, or other ones traveling around my camera. I will be doing a couple more of those because I thought that was fun and kind of entertaining, and I know you guys like to see the backgrounds here. But thank you. Hagfish says for 5, I know a PH licensed nurse. Criminals claiming mental health, we will treat your mental health, and once you're cured, we'll continue the case. Ditzy for 179 says the apology would have worked if not for Cabbage Boy Ramsey and the pesky streamer friends. You know what, though? This is a very good point. If it was just Vitali, it probably wouldn't have been treated this in the same severity. I will say that. In terms of the reaction of everybody. If Vitali was the only person to do it, it would still be bad, and I'm sure it would still be prosecuted to some extent, but I think in terms of general coverage, it wouldn't be such of an issue. But it is an issue because Vitali is a symbol here for nuisance streaming, and to allow Vitali to just proceed unfettered is a green flag to every nuisance streamer out there to flood into Asia, to flood to the Philippines, Japan, Korea, everywhere else, and continue to be a nuisance, continue to be a bother, continue to commit crimes, continue to harass people. And I think that is relevant, and that is a relevant fact. And countries do need to consider this, especially when they're changing their laws. And I do think laws should be changed to be harsher towards specifically nuisance streamers. Elizabeth Adrian Saro says, super disrespectful to us who actually suffer. Yes, it is. There are people with real mental health issues that are diagnosable. They're not just making a quick, of all out, I have mental health issues statement. People have articulable, objective issues that are very serious, and they do their best to manage those. And I've had so many people in my chat, both when we're talking Somali and Vitali, say, I have these conditions. I have whatever, BPD, I have Tourette's, I have whatever else. And I do my best to manage this. We had someone saying, I have PTSD, and they do their best to manage these symptoms. These are serious symptoms, which are real, are very real. But it's a disgrace to those people that have them when someone that doesn't is trying to use them as an excuse, because it hurts the people that do, because perhaps those people won't be considered as seriously when their issue comes up, because everybody's crying, the sky is falling, or mental health issues. Ruby said, yeesh, the only person who can officially use that defense is World of Teachers, says he's medically autistic, and even then it doesn't help as much, and not an excuse for assault or getting out of his case. Yeah, World of Teachers is an interesting case. I mean, yes, clearly there's something going on there. I'm not a doctor, but once again, I've said this before. Let's say you do have autism, right? It's probably not a good idea that you go out there and engage in this behavior. And at some point, something's got to pull you back and say, hey, you can't do this. You can't just harm people, especially if it's something like assault or battery. You cannot do that and just get away with it because you say, oh, I'm autistic. There has to be some barriers. I'm sympathetic to it, but there's a line. Marcin Wazak says, here's $2. Now dance, monkey. Just kidding. Well, I'll do you know what? I'll give you an emotional cabbage, though.
Emotional cabbage.
Ruby said, meanwhile, in South Korea, Hank alone talking to himself. All right. I'm not going to read all that. But thank you for that, Ray. We appreciate you. Larry Power says he's lucky Duterte isn't in charge. He would have thrown him out of a helicopter. Letting Vitali go due to mental health will set a legal precedent that other news streamers will use. Absolutely. And they'll come to the Philippines and do the exact same stuff. Patrick Elza says, I'm a little late to joining, so take your legal golden shower, you glorious law man. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for helping hit the goal today. A lot of big cope in the Vitali fan camp. No Name says, I'm so happy for the news. Suffer Vitali. Philip Screwdriver says, Vitali, I'm going to bribe you $5. Meanwhile, political candidates, those are rookie numbers. Rich says, it's bribery, not another crime. Okay, let me be clear. I was being a little hyperbolic, so I'll make a little correction there. Bribery is a crime. He was not committing a crime. He was attempting a settlement, right? So I was using the colloquial use of the word, not the legal use of the word. So I'll correct that. He was attempting to settle. He was attempting to pay out the security guards to say, here's money, stay quiet, don't testify. Like I'm going to settle with you privately and take care of that, right? Not necessarily criminal. But once again, while not criminal, it's morally suspect. Successive approximations. Thank you for your content. It's always consistent and on the money. Thank you. Dr. David English for Ochan says, I was fortunate enough to be on YouTube and see your live. Hey, awesome. Mostly watch Johnny Somali. These thugs need to be punished and warn others. Well, Dr. David English, I know seems you're there in Korea. It's a problem that does not just exist in Korea. The exact same streamers that I'm covering in Japan and Korea are now in Thailand, for example, and causing trouble. So these people are going to make a circuit. And it's not going to stop in Asia either. This is going to come other places. And there's streamer problems in America too, in Canada and Europe, etc. And we've got to draw the line and say this is not acceptable anywhere in the world. Super says, as a Filipino, you're standing up for Philippine integrity, but there's corruption. Vitali can cry corruption because there is. His pockets aren't deep enough. Well, and I think beyond that, Sobri, he's too high profile. Look, I understand that corruption exists in many countries, in all countries, in different forms, right, at different levels of the government. Some countries, the corruption is at the top. A lot of Western countries, the corruption is at the top. There's countries where corruption is more street level. That's a more complex analysis. But aside from that, he's gone too far in his provocations and he streamed them. There's a difference if you ran a red light and you're in some random, I'm just going to say you're in Somalia, right? And you ran a red light, right? And there's the fine, or you could pay the fine on the street, right? I get that. That's what I call street level. That stuff happens, right? We can have opinions about that, but this is not what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with him broadcasting insults to the integrity of both individuals and the entire country. Mark Mann says Vitali was pranking and didn't care that he was being an asshole. Somali, however, tried to be as nasty and evil as possible. Feels different. No, it is a little bit different, but I don't think Vitali was, when he was quote unquote pranking, it was beyond what a prank was. And I don't think we can just expand the definition of prank that far. So that's where I would disagree. They did do different things, but I think that they're still within the realm of criminality. Ryobi said, I could see Vitali become the IRL gun pie. Just wait. A2B for 50,000 Indonesian rupiah says Vitali shouldn't worry about the guards. He should worry about the prisoner chief. That prison is run by prisoner chief, not guards. I'm very interested. I don't know much about that. I'd be interested to learn more. Lucky Lime says, what are the defamation laws? If I falsely accuse someone of committing a crime, or the damages presumed? That's a difficult analysis. It depends on a lot. It also depends on whether or not they have a positive reputation. Someone like Johnny Somali, for example, has a negative reputation. Therefore, it's really hard to prove any damages for him. So defamation is different in Asia, though. So I would be very careful on how you proceed. Lucio X30 says, much as I hate these guys, I can't help but notice the more questionable laws of each country they're stuck in, ones that aren't just local norms. Well, once again, there's laws in every country that we disagree with. As an American, and I cover U.S. law, there's many laws I disagree with in America. There's laws I think should not be laws. That is one argument. One argument is those laws. But then looking at their actions and what they're charged with, I don't see anything that Vitali is charged with that is unreasonable. Same thing with Somali. I think all of those things are very reasonable crimes to charge people with, given the scope of what they did. Rolando says, for once, the insanity plea failed. Max Marina says, Japan have blood money. Thank you, Max. Sticks for 5 says, the differences in the way between the two countries due to the justice system is informative to watch, aka Philippines versus South Korea. And I don't think either one is wrong. They're just different. Jordan Josar, thanks for the 1 membership and saying Vitali is suffering right now. Bion says, if you wanted attention and trolling, Vitali should have trained to be a WWE wrestler. But I forget this required talent and hard work is impossible. Robert von Beek says, Sawadee from Bangkok. Hey, what's up? Would he hope for diminished responsibility? Wouldn't they then assess his condition after his prison sentence? They would need to do it before. If he wants to say he has diminished capacity or diminished mental ability, they would need to do an assessment on that. He would need to have some sort of medical assessment that shows that, more than just him having a panic attack because he's not on whatever substances he was on. Remember the other reporting we did, guys. The other reporting we did earlier when I was on vacation, rocking a Songkran shirt and some shades. He's been having health issues that are likely due to, especially according to other sources that have reported, some sort of substance abuse, right? So there was some sort of substance that he was going off of and going into withdrawal, and he was having health issues from that. It's now affecting his mental issues. I think that could be very much symptomatic of withdrawal. Very much symptomatic. And it's on the timeline for withdrawal. Pirate Skeleton says, we don't blame a rabid dog for having rabies, but that doesn't mean we tolerate its viciousness or leave it to roam freely. That's a very good metaphor. Ryobi said, the only prank channel I used to watch was Dashi, and he fully changed to gaming. I'm proud for that. RIP Etika, I miss those guys. I didn't watch many prank channels. Snowfire says, is the green card holder's LPR in the USA? I think he is a green card holder in the USA. I don't think he's a fully naturalized citizen. That's my understanding. Gary Lee says, I have no money pranking thieves. Innocence, no issues pranking thieves. Innocence, no. I would agree with that. Tatsumi says, I used to mentor autistic people during an unpaid internship program. After working with them, I gained a lot of respect for the people on the spectrum, is in no way a get out of jail free card. Yes, autism is not a get out of jail free card. It's just not. Snowfire says, Asperger's. I hate people who fake being on the spectrum. Well, that's what we have in Somalia, and that's what we have in Vitali. All right, guys. So listen, this was going to be a very quick one today. I just want to make sure to get this update. I'm not going to keep it too long because I am not doing a summary version of this. I might clip it down, but I'm not doing a facts fast version because it's very short. I will have more updates on Vitali as well as comparisons to, I want to do a longer stream comparing Vitali and the punishment potential there versus in other countries that have had similar streaming incidents. That'll be coming in the future. Some new Somali stuff will be coming as well, and perhaps a member stream in the next couple days. So take care, guys. Stay based. Also, Mindblock says, I have autism. The misconception here is behaviors like bullying or things Somali did include social interactions. Autism types avoid interactions, like not looking in the eyes, but I still greet people. Well, that's good to know. Please take care and don't be like Vitali, because you know he's in jail right now and you know what he's doing.
You are coping the seething. You just can't believe what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping the seething. The truth it is all day, and now you are more than